Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tom. I'm the team leader at the Story team, and we sell real estate in Toronto. And what's been really interesting, because the stats just came out for July for the Toronto real estate market, and on paper, condos were up 8%. But as we know, when the stats come out, it's always going year over year. So July 2020 was better by 8% in terms of average price than July 2019. But that's kind of an unfair way, truthfully, to look at the numbers. So I want to break it down and show you what's actually happening right now, specifically in 2020, and from what happened the first few months of the year, and how the condo market has kind of flipped since COVID became a thing and the lockdowns happened. So I'm going to put a graphic up on the screen here, and basically what it's showing us is the growth so far in 2020. Because yeah, sure, we're up 8% from year over year, but it's kind of unfair to compare it to that at this point. So what we see on paper is that from January 2020 until the numbers that came out in July, condos are up actually just 0.5% from January. But February, when your average price point was $722,675, if you compare February to July's numbers, condos are actually down 5%. So it really depends month by month. And then if you take a look there at April, you saw from March to April, the average price actually dropped $100,000. Now remember, in April, we were told not to go outside. So obviously this was going to happen. But I just think it's really interesting because at the beginning of the year, we had 2.5 months of condos getting multiple offers across the board. And now when we look at the condo market, it's still good. And it's just more balanced. So we were in a seller's market for basically 5 years, and now we've balanced out. And there's a few reasons why. If you watch my videos before, you know what I'm about to say. There's been zero immigration for 4.5, almost 5 months. So that's obviously going to make a difference. The ban for Airbnb has put a flood of rental inventory on the market. And when that doesn't rent out, they become for sale. And just the inventory. So before COVID and the lockdown, there was very much in a seller's market. We had like under 2 months of inventory for all condos in the Toronto market. Now we're pushing to 3 months of inventory to 3.5 months of inventory, which means that that supply demand is very close to each other. So moving forward, here's what I think is going to happen. I think the condo market is going to remain fairly tame. I don't think we're going to see big decreases, but it's going to remain fairly tame for the rest of 2020 because the price gap of condos to the next jump up, which was townhouses or semi-detached, was getting really close. But right now, freehold anything, semi-detached, attached properties, detached, is going crazy. There's a lot of demand. There's not very much supply, and the price points are more than double-digit growth. So I think what's going to happen is for the rest of 2020, condos are going to sell, but they're going to take longer. And most of the sales are happening under $700,000. Actually, almost 85% of all the sales for condos are happening under $700,000. But there will become a time when the growth of the freehold properties just goes too high that people are going to say, well, I'm just going to buy a condo now because there's more to choose from. And the gap is really far. When the gap gets too close, that's when condos start slowing down. When the gap between condo and house becomes bigger and bigger, that's when they start picking up again. I hope that was valuable. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you like this type of content, it would be great if you could subscribe to this channel. That would mean a lot to us. Or check us out on Instagram at The Story Team. Have an amazing day, and remember, home is where your story begins.